Good morning, PTI Daily Show. Happy Thursday morning. Late start here. Sorry about that. Jeff is down at South College teaching all day. I no longer have any free time in my day whatsoever anymore in my life. So the morning got away from us with neither of us claiming today. Yes, my shirt is ripped. Sorry about that. Been a long morning already. So here we are on Leadership Thursday. My name is Alan. I'll be your host today. COO of ICE, faculty member for our fitness athlete division. Hiding in my car because it's the warmest place around. Way too cold inside the gym right now. So today, Leadership Thursday, what are we talking about? We're talking about humility in learning as a leader. So sitting here and reflecting on as we go out to courses, as we interact with now entire clinical groups. So oftentimes groups are bringing us out for private courses and we're getting to interact with their entire staff, including the leadership. What stands out in the leadership? What do those leaders demonstrate? And they demonstrate a lot of things, but today specifically we're going to be talking about the way they learn. So Jeff has said something that I've always liked, which is that a novice learns or sees something and thinks they've mastered it right away, right? They listen to a lecture, they watch a technique, they perform a technique, and they think, got it. Did it once, I've got it. Versus an expert learner loves repetition and is never somebody that thinks they've mastered something, never thinks that they've gotten to a position within a leadership structure or with years of experience that they believe that they've mastered something. They love to practice, they love to do things. We're talking about manual therapy. There's somebody that is always down to practice manipulation, always down to be open to learn a new technique or a refinement in technique, always down to receive critique or learn different ways to maybe analyze a deadlift or things like that. So they love repetition. They love learning for the sake of learning and kind of love the process more so than saying that they know something, they've mastered something. And so what I think is really cool the past couple weeks, well, months really, being gone pretty much every weekend to a course, attending them myself as a student, helping teach some. What do I notice? That's the main thing I notice that we've been watching and vibing on when we watch clinic owners and clinic directors and business owners attending the course, which first of all, that in of itself is really great. It's so much more beneficial for a clinic when as many people as possible can attend the course from that clinic. It's just a unique experience to all be learning the same material. Oftentimes folks go out in onesies and twosies and learn something and bring it back to the clinic, and then they try and teach it to everybody else, and we all know how that goes. They kind of get the diluted, watered down version, versus a lot of clinicians in the leadership from a clinic going to the same course and being able to practice together. And what we learn and watch is that those leaders didn't get there accidentally, right? They are the folks who are continuing to do repetitions, asking for feedback, and just not giving up, as we sometimes see. Sometimes when we practice our manual therapy courses, or even on the fitness athlete side, when we are out practicing maybe the deadlift, we see some folks hit some reps and then kind of just stand around and lollygag. And they've either decided that there's nothing more to learn, or they're tired of trying to learn it, or they're frustrated that they haven't mastered it right away. Versus we see those clinic owners, those business leaders, they're often the ones in the corner that are continuing to go, maybe even after we have folks stop and move on. They are continuing to practice. They are trying to practice on as many people as they can in the room. They are the person that's watching video analysis of their movement again and again and again and again, and they're just craving that learning, craving that repetition, craving that feedback, because they know with the experience that they have that repetition and that humility in learning is what will actually progress them forward towards mastery. I don't think we could say, there's always something to learn. We can never truly master a technique or a concept, but by by embracing that repetition and getting comfortable with doing as much repetition as possible and never being satisfied that you've learned as much as you can. That's what moves you towards that mastery. And that's what we see when other folks from the clinic group have kind of stopped and they're standing around. It's the owner, the director of that clinic, who's often still practicing, trying to practice on more people, trying to give folks feedback, and trying to kind of keep the learning train going long after many folks have stopped. And there's also not only the humility in that, but the humility in being willing to learn from folks who may have less years of experience than you, who may have less years at your clinic than you, and just accepting that we can always learn something from anybody. I think we were in Milwaukee maybe about a month ago now. We were at Integra Physical Therapy up in Milwaukee with a cervical spine course with Jeff, myself, and Rachel. And Eric Bork is the owner there, and he has a great crew. And what I loved is that he was in the back of the room learning from one of his team members who had way less years of experience than him, but who had been to a bunch of ice courses, and he was in the back willingly, openly, very humble, learning from this younger clinician, and just kind of recognizing that even though he has, much more experience and time under his belt as a PT, he does not have the same amount of experience with the manipulation techniques we were using. And just being open and humble to learn and step back and say, even though I am the owner, I recognize that this person knows more in this particular area than me, and I want to learn that. And it doesn't matter that I'm the owner and this person works for me. It matters that this person knows more than me, and I want to learn that stuff that this person knows. And having that humility to kind of take the title off, take the title of owner off, take the title of director off, whatever the title may be, and just being willing to learn from somebody who knows more than you, knowing that it will move you towards mastery. And I think that kind of mindset of a business owner is really what makes a workplace really fun. To know that the owner doesn't think they know more than you just because they've been a PT longer than you, or because they have the name owner behind their title, that they are willing to learn, especially when they're willing to learn from you and ask you for your help, and recognizing that as we talk about here on Leadership Thursday a lot, if we are developing an entire clinic group and we have a whole bunch of folks who are specialists in different areas, then we can't possibly know everything if we are trying to have little subspecialties within the clinic group. But that means we have a lot to learn from a lot of different people, even within our own clinic, and that makes it a great learning environment, and it makes it a great fun place to work as well. So throw that around in your head about humility as a learner, and what Jeff always says, that the novice sees something once and thinks they've mastered it, and the expert learner loves repetition. The expert learner goes to a course 2 or 3 times. The expert learner goes back home and practices a manual therapy technique or a new exercise as many times as possible, just craving that repetition, seeing if there's not a little bit more that can be learned there, and also if there's not somebody within the clinic that can be learned from, who maybe, even though you might have 5 or 10 more years of experience as a clinician than somebody else in your clinic, that doesn't mean that you know everything that they know, and that doesn't mean that there's not anything you can learn from them. So I hope that helps. I hope that's something for you all to think on this Thursday, about keeping that humility as a leader. And it's tough, right? It can be tough. I've certainly never saw myself in a position like this, and it can be tough to step back and try and stay humble as you move up within the business leadership of an organization. But I think it's the number one thing we see that separates some business owners from others, and not surprisingly, the ones with humble leaders tend to be the more successful clinic groups and businesses as well. So think on that this Thursday. Sorry again for being late. The day got away from both Jeff and I, but hopefully a little lunchtime PT on Ice is a little change of pace for all of you. Don't forget to hit gut check. A little spicy. I see some times coming in the 6 and 7 minutes, which makes me happy. That means you guys are pushing the pace. Gut check this week, 1,000 meter row, but every minute, including the start of the workout, do 5 burpees over the rower. So a little change of pace from just rowing for time. I'll be hitting that later today or tomorrow sometime, but liking the times I see already, that makes me happy. Have a great Thursday, everyone. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Hey, thanks for tuning in to the PT on Ice Daily Show. If you enjoyed this content, head on over to iTunes and leave us a review. And be sure to check us out on Facebook and Instagram at the Institute of Clinical Excellence. If you're interested in getting plugged into more ICE content on a weekly basis while earning CEUs from home, check out our virtual ICE online mentorship program at ptonice.com. While you're there, sign up for our Hump Day Hustling newsletter for a free email every Wednesday morning with our top 5 research articles and social media posts that we think are worth reading. Head over to ptonice.com and scroll to the bottom of the page to sign up.